I was skeptical about this one at first. I mean, how much different could a seat really make on a zero-turn mower? I've been riding these machines for years, and honestly, I just figured it was one of those upgrades that sounded nice but didn't actually change much. But after spending a full week on the Spartan Mowers 4710015-00 dial suspension seat, I have to say, my back feels like it did 10 years ago. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. Now, I know what you're thinking, it's just a seat. But this isn't your average lawn tractor cushion. This is a factory-engineered part from Spartan, designed specifically for their high-end zero-turn models like the RZ, RT, HD, SRT, Pro, and XD series. It replaces the stock seat and uses their patented dial suspension system, which lets you fine-tune the tension and angle so it actually supports your spine, not just your backside. I've tested cheap aftermarket seats before, and they either bottom out or feel like sitting on a pogo stick. This one? It actually absorbs bumps instead of bouncing you around. One of the first things I noticed was how much quieter the ride became. I was mowing a bumpy field last weekend, you know the kind, where every little bump sends a jolt up your legs, and instead of feeling like I was being shaken, the seat just glided over the rough spots. The dial lets you adjust the resistance so you can dial in exactly how much give you want. I started with it pretty firm since I'm used to a stiffer ride, but after a few hours, I softened it just a bit for more comfort on longer jobs. It's not something you set once and forget, you tweak it based on the terrain and how long you're out there. I also love that it swivels 360 degrees. On a zero turn, you're constantly turning, leaning, and reaching for controls. The old seat would stick sometimes, or I'd have to twist my whole body. With this, it moves with you effortlessly. I've been able to reach the levers and switches without straining, which has cut down on the shoulder and neck tension I usually get after a few hours. And because it's a direct fit replacement, there's no weird mounting brackets or extra hardware, just pop off the old seat, bolt this one on, and you're done. I did it myself in about 15 minutes with basic tools. Another real-world win, heat and sweat. I mow in Florida, so it's not just about comfort, it's about not melting into the seat by noon. The upholstery is thick but breathable, and the padding doesn't flatten out like cheap foam. Even after 6 hours in 90-degree heat, I wasn't soaked. That might sound minor, but anyone who's spent a summer on a mower knows how much that matters. I've also been using it on hills and slopes, and the stability is solid. The base is reinforced, so there's no wobble even when I'm pushing the mower hard on a grade. I've had seats that felt like they were going to tip if I leaned too far, but this one stays planted. That's a big deal for safety and control, especially on uneven ground. Now, it's not perfect. The only real downside I've found is the price. It's not cheap, you're paying for a premium factory part, not a generic Amazon pad. But when you compare it to the cost of chiropractor visits or long-term back issues, it starts to feel like a smart investment. Also, because it's designed for Spartan mowers, it won't fit other brands. So if you've got a different zero-turn, you'll need to check compatibility first. Overall, though, this seat has changed how I feel after a long day of mowing. I used to dread the end of a big job because my lower back would be screaming. Now, I finish, shut off the mower, and actually feel like I could keep going. That's worth every penny to me. If you're running a Spartan zero-turn and your back's been talking to you more than your neighbors have, this might be the upgrade you need. Check it out, links below.